fans of this channel and EBN TV.
Yeah, that's great. And if pastors just mentioned to make sure that you send a comment, not one, not two, not three, but as much as you can and as much as possible. And Pastor, before we still touch on where we left last Sunday, we also need to feel like we need to be encouraged when it comes to presidency politics, political obsession, political greed and lust, and such a thing when it comes to issues of Africa. We saw what happened here in our country, 2024, from June to July, somewhere there, and all the way up to some just months this year. And we saw the same to Madagascar, we saw the same to Cameroon, and currently, as we're talking now, Tanzania is burning down because of politics, power, greed, and lust. What can you say of Africa when it comes to power, politics, and leadership and governance?
It's such a pity. It's such a pity that people can really cling to power in such a manner with I don't know the best words to use. In fact, on my way here, I was seeing some clips of the number of young people that are being shot in Tanzania. They're in their thousands, and I think what is being reported is just below what the actual thing is in Tanzania. And it's such a pity. It's such a pity that we would get stooped that low. I mean, life is so sacred, but nowadays people treat life as if it's something that is that people don't care anymore about life, and it's such a pity. And one thing that I know is that our God serves justice, and all these people that have died, the blood of all these children that have died are with the people that have caused it, because there's definitely someone where the baton stops at, and that is, of course, the president. And so it's so unfortunate that you'd be killing innocent people that are not even armed, people that are just protesting, because like if people don't like you, they don't like you. And I mean, I don't know when we will get there, Africans, where if people tell you they don't want you, because now like Tanzania as being just such a country where we've known them for peace, umoja, utangamano, from the first founders, the likes of Mwalimu Julius Nyerere. But right now that has completely changed. Ule undugu haupo tena kabisa, yani. People are so full of themselves, and it's unfortunate. Like the current president, Samia Suluhu, like jailing all the opponents. They're abducted, they are killed, and just so that you can run alone. I mean, and you can stand before people and tell people that you won. It's unfortunate, really unfortunate. And our prayers go out to the families that have lost their loved ones, and we pray that God will give them peace. That is all we can ask. Our wish, the international community could come in, but I saw the African Union congratulating her for having won elections. Like, it's not right. It is all wrong by all standards, and we don't need to be told. I mean, these institutions, I thought they were there to defend people, but they're there to celebrate their own. And it's about who has what.
That's very true, because we're looking at where Samia Suluhu took power, or even took power from the death of Pombe Magufuli.
Yes.
And we would have wanted to witness transition. Now this is the most official one, because it just took over from when something sudden happened. But now we're looking, she's a lady, we're also looking at the number, we're looking at the things that are happening, and it was very clear that from 28th, this is eve of the elections, that a lot of people had promised that we won't be voting, and we don't accept this to take place. Later on 29th, and the voting or even elections took place, but it was not well, because a lot of banning, a lot of demonstrations, the protests around things that was taking place. Then yesterday we're looking at INEC, and this is electoral body from Tanzania, announcing Suluhu as the winner with almost 32 million votes. And now our question 98.9. And we're looking at, and in the House, I think he clinched 270 seats out of 272. I'm wondering, yes, he's very clear that he jailed some of the opponents and very key of them. But we're trying to look at the message that they are trying to send in Africa and in us and in politics and governance and leadership, which is not very clear. We're looking again at Cameroon, where Paul Biya is elected eighth time within 2 years. His cabinet has very odd people. The youngest one is 83 years of age. Now, Pastor, because I think all of us rely on governance leadership. We rely on government so that we can survive, so that we can live a bit. And we serve the government serves us. We serve it through our taxes, and they have to serve us back. But we are not looking at that taking place. Look at the wastage that took place in our country, the same taking place in Cameroon, and the same taking place in Tanzania. We are switching off from that because this is not a political show, but we have to be very mindful of what's happening. We have to open our eyes, and we have to be very sensitive of what is happening. Now, I want to look at this camera, Pastor. One very key statement for all these countries, and most probably you address all African countries, and maybe Guzia, whereby if your people don't like you, why you're not supposed to accept or even turn down, then let other people move on with the baton.
Thank you. One thing that I will say for sure is that a good leader knows when it is best to leave the stage, and once you've served your purpose, hii ingine ya kuimpose to the people or imposing yourself to the people won't help them. And we are saying that, I mean, like, okay, like the Cameroonian guy, 92 years of age, and you're still running for presidency. I mean, like, you want to die there. And one thing that I would say is that because if there is nothing that you've done in all these years that you've been in power, I mean, just let it go. Allow other people to come in, fresh blood, people with new ideas to come and lead. But the problem with us is that we are so power hungry that we do not want to, and there's the feeling like, okay, we had during the late Daniel Moy, where you feel like there's no one else that can take up after you. But the truth is, God has a lot of people. God has a lot of people that can lead and do better. And that is what I always believe even in just normal setups, institutions where you're running an institution and you're in charge of a department, and sometimes people feel like there's no one that can do better than me here. Trust me, you just need to step aside, and you'll see people that will come and do 10 times better than you can do. And so I think this is what now our leaders need to get to understand. Once you serve your term, you don't have to change the constitutions to extend your terms. When it's 2 terms, please run for the 2 terms and move out, let someone else come in. And you leave a legacy, because real men leave legacies. And so if now what legacy? Because like for Samia, it's so unfortunate that a mother would be doing this to children.
That's very bad. And thank you. You've mentioned something, and I don't want to mention names here, but I always hold discussions concerning everything. That's why we talk of spheres of life. And someone was asking, if you don't want this, who else looks like him? Who else will fit where they fit? So I was like, so now we know of Abraham, we know of a lot of key characters in the Bible. Does it mean that when Abraham is not there to sacrifice, Pastor, you're not there to sacrifice? And if you're not there to sacrifice or even to preach, does it mean that there's no other person who can preach on your behalf and even do better? But we are not competing, I would say so, because this is our thing, this is our country, and maybe this being the body of Christ, this is all our thing, and we have to participate. That's why the body of Christ, we talk of different parts. We have Tukona mkono, it does this. We have a leg that does this. Minus the leg, a lot of things can take place. So I like to imagine that accepting your weakness and your strength, I think it is something that will allow us to grow.
And a lot of people do not want to just imagine that there are other people that can do better. And I always believe if because I'm good at something, you're good at something, we can complement each other and build up something very strong. But sometimes when I realize there's something that you know, instead of helping you bring it out, then I want to suppress you down, so that like that will not be seen, and only want to shine at the expense of exploiting you or your talent and all that. And so the best is, if I help light your candle, we'll have 2 lights and more light for that case. And so, and by dimming mine does not help yours. And so I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah, that's very true. And I would also think it's a backward kind of competitive attitude which will never yield anything. Very bad. Very bad. We leave it at that. I think we'd have changed the topic, because we're very much concerned on
politics can really be addictive.
Because looking at going to Tanzania through Namanga border, I think it's so chaotic. You can't do business along that place. So it is economically
a lot of people have lost.
Disadvantaging us. So I think there's something that we need to, every media station be talking about it, because it is not doing as well. And as you've talked of AU chairperson, and in the position is less than 1 year, and I think this is the first serious thing that he could have pulled down and said, for this one, you have to step down, and we have to do some thorough analysis to see if you're going to go through, or even if you're going to...
We are not political analysts, but everyone can see. I mean, you don't need to have done politics to understand what is happening in Tanzania. It's just mere... bad politics.
Yeah, that's very true. Pastor, let's stop there.
Sure.
This we can go very far, because as we've said, we don't have to learn politics, but you have to understand where kiatu kinapo kufinya unapaa upaelewe. Pastor, what we normally do here on the Spheres of Life, as you're a pastor, you said to make sure that you encourage the discouraged, the broken-hearted, you meant by the word of mouth. It's like we are used like a piece of mouth, or even mouthpiece by God, or by us as a people, because once we come together, and as you've talked of complimenting one another, it's like I feel I'm weak here, and suppose I move the same lane all alone, I think there is a way at the end, or even throughout and along the way, I'll find myself stopping and saying that I'm not going further from this, I'm not proceeding, because I feel the journey is too long and hectic for me. So, Pastor, we left on your story whereby you given fees, and the parent, your father texted back to some manenos there and there, and I think we had handled that, but there is a point whereby there are fights that come in when you are trying to fight for your own space, or even your right, which you rightfully own. I think the audience is waiting to hear what happened when you were told to give back the fees that you were given for school payment.
Nothing happened, because at that age you're too young. You can't literally start arguing with your father, and so I'll basically give it out. And one of the things that you do in the morning, you tell me to go to school and tell the teacher that he's coming, and which I rightfully declined, because if I was sent home because of lack of school fees, then I cannot go back again to the same school and say, oh, you see, now my dad is coming. So if I'm going, then we're going together. If you're not going together, then I'm going. I'm not going. And so I stayed home until money was available, and there was that struggle, and that's why sometimes I always encourage if you can be in a boarding school, and that is why I think a lot of children prefer to stay in boarding school, so that they have like more time to study, as opposed to day school, because I was in a day school, and in a boarding school, because my big brother, I finished school before my big brother, like I was ahead of him with a class. And he was in boarding school, I was not. And so sometimes when he came back home, because like mostly when you report back to school, you're allowed 1 week, and then the second week now they start sending you home for school fees. And when we got home together with my brother. Remember when he was going back to school, he had the shopping that would last him for the whole term. And for me, of course, being a day scholar, you don't get any shopping. So we report in the morning, and after a week, we all meet there again home, coming for school fees. my school fees was what he would get as a second shopping to go back to school. Na mimi bado nabaki nyumbani. And if there's something that I would tell fathers out there, and parents more specifically, all parents, but they never treat your children unfairly. Never like one kid over the other. Treat your children equally. Because there are a lot of children out there that are suffering because of preferences by parents. You find a parent prefers one child to the other, and especially when they're growing up. I mean, like, give them same treatment. If you're treating this, you're buying this something, and maybe you're not buying the other one, tell the other one that, explain to them so that they may understand that today the money that I have is enough to buy your brother, because he didn't have while you have two. So I'm just trying to at least so that he can have something. But when they realize, because our children, as I said last time here, they learn by observing. And so the moment you do that, of course you'll see like, oh, huyu anapendwa kuniliko, and some of them have lost it. You either hear of suicide, a child commits suicide because they realize like their brothers or sisters are loved more than they are. And I don't know if you watched, there was this there's this guy that used to be in Mother-in-Law. What is his name?
Charlie.
I don't know if you watched that, about his family, and it was really disheartening to see such. And there's a statement that he made that the daughter is not dying out of cancer, but because she's not loved. And so I want to encourage parents out there, like, treat your children the same. Do not give preferences to your children. Treat them the same. And by so doing, you'll really boost their self-esteem. They will feel like they all have the same playground to do whatever they can do in their lives and to make their lives. And so that was one of the challenges that I really noted. And I can say it really affected my brother, because now, because when you also now show the other one is more loved than the other one, then he feels like he's special, and he can drop his guard and lose some grip that would, because you find, mimi nilizoea kujitafutia mapema sana. Because now maisha ilianza kukauka kidogo mapema, and so I started looking for things on how I can like manage myself. And of course now being the firstborn, kuna ile firstborn unapata like umefua nguo yako umeanika, umepasa ndio unataka kwenda nao church, ukiingia kwa bafu yeye ameshatoka kwa bafu, unapata amevaa na ameenda. And so of course these are normal challenges that happen, like especially when you almost mnatoshana. And that is basically it. It happens to all of us, but mainly the most important thing, I mean, like, let's treat our children the same.
And Pastor, you've talked of an issue where one son or even one child is loved more than the other, and what can someone learn from the same and from the parents? Because I would also think these people came from the same home, came from the same family, and I expect the treatment to be the same. What makes someone being loved more than the other?
Okay, the parents that it differs from one parent to the other, but the parents that would love especially their firstborns more than the other children, and and especially like their fathers that have this urge for their firstborn sons. So if it's a son, unapata mtoto wangu wa kwanza, my boy, is my hair that is picking out from me. And so there's that. There are others that would have preference to their children because of performance, how they perform in terms of either school or life, and that is where a number of parents lie. And you find, of course, if there is you and me, you do not, we are brothers, you do not support your family, you don't support your parents, and there is one that like will go out of their way to just make sure their parents are comfortable. Parents are human beings. As much as these are all their children. If today your mom raises your phone or your dad raises the phone to call, and umwambie mimi usinipigie tena, sina pesa, and they call the next one and umwambie mom sina pesa kwa sasa, lakini wacha nijitahidi nitafute, once I get I will sort you. Both of you are mna. Lakini kuna mmoja amemwambia usinipigie tena sina pesa na there's no way I can get money. That is not true. I mean, you can hustle your way out and get some money and send. Mwingine amemwambia sina, lakini let me see what I can do. Of course, your heart will lean towards this one child, and I'm not encouraging that would happen, but it's a human being. I mean, this one does not like, and the answers that they give you, the attitude, the approach, and all that, you'll find yourself like trying to lean to one, but at the end of the day, you'll find this parent saying, when things are bad, even for this one, mwenye afanyangi chochote, kuna mahali itafika mzazi aseme, this is my child. No matter what, this is still my child. And so those are not things that like can like really last, because it gets to that point where you say, hata kama hana, hata kama nifanyiagi, ni mtoto wangu.
Okay. So when it comes to maybe taking care of parents, I've seen what you've said is exactly very true. And what will it be wrong for parents trying to look like they're loving the one who's likely to provide than the one who's not providing? Kuna makosa?
Amna makosa kabisa. Hakuna makosa. Shida ni mimi usema ni it's how you because as kuna mmoja mwenye anaweza kuwa hawezi akaprovide, but they are willing, their heart is willing, but now their sources of income is low. But unajua mzazi kule nyumbani, they do not need much. Even within your level, and as the Bible says, to whom much is given, much is expected. And if you cannot even honor God with the little that you have, even when you love more, trust me, you won't. And so even in that little that you have, if you can stay for a year, second, third, fourth, fifth, you don't even send your mom 100 shillings, and then you want to tell me like, oh, hauna pesa. That's not a lie. That's not true. It's a lie. And so, and let me tell you, when you're helping someone, it is not, and even parents, you're not helping from a point of abundance. You're helping because this is your parent. You have a responsibility over their lives. Because if your parent is not able to provide for themselves, they're not able to cater for their health, for their food, shelter, and you're there unable, I mean, why not? Why not? And if there is one that gets like 10,000, then the other one gets 5,000, huyu atume basi 100, huyu atume 200. But now when you say, wewe kwa sababu unapata 10,000, wewe tuma zote, mimi niko na 5,000, mimi yangu initoshi. Hata hii yangu initoshi kwa sababu mahitaji yanaendaga tu yanapimana na kulingana na mapato yako. And so it's a matter of just being honest, knowing that this is your parent and you need to support them the best way you know how, with the little that you have or with the much that you have. Yes, because
that's very true. Pastor, I think it's still in line with what we were discussing tonight, and it's also the issue of you and your brother, but now I want to broaden it a bit. There is a way, when we were very young, there is a way we used to share. Unakumbuka? There is a time we used to go to the shamba together. There's time we go fetch firewoods together. We go to the river together. We go grazing on the fields together. We go to school together. We share the little that we have with the biggest love that we have. Because it's like some times ago we were bound together by poverty that we found within our families from such a long time. But now when we start growing up, and it's like I'm making my own thing, I'm making my own money, you're making yours, there is a point where it reaches to a place where it's like we don't have to agree now. What comes of that? Because we're from the same family, the same bloodline. We've been doing the most important things, because I think for you to grow and to have a very good view of how life looks like, I think it has to start from from an early age. But as you're growing, you see that you're growing, you are diverging, you're not converging as people from the same family. What comes of that, Pastor?
One, I have a lot of respect for my siblings, a lot, and we have grown. like the difference between, in fact, in age, between my big bro is 1 year, and then the difference between my younger brother is 1 year. Ule last born dear alikaa 8 years wakijaribu kuona kama atapata msichana, lakini kijana akakuja tu. And so we have a very good working relationship, and we grew together. Mom took us to church and all that. And but of course, along the way, my uncle used to tell us the only person that can think about your life 100% is yourself. And so it gets to that point where now you start now to figure out your path. You start to now to draw your path, your life now. And as you do that, we might differ in what my approach to life is. You might decide to follow a different path. And as you do that, they say the only person that has a problem with you, they definitely will be behind you. And so if a person has a problem, then whatever you're doing, because I will not stop my life to start living yours. But one thing that I also believe is that when if I've made it, then what is it that I can do to help my brothers or my friends come up? Because kama kuna kitu kibaya katika maisha, ni wakati huko pale juu peke yako. It can really be hot or cold, depending with how you want to look at it. Because when you're up there alone, like everyone that is down here, like has to reach out to you. Oh, I need. But when you help others to come up with you, then it becomes even easy for you. Because as you, like, ukitoa 10 bob, na ametoa 8 bob, na mwingine ametoa 15 bob, you're able to balance, and the burden is not too much on your end. But again, you see now you can still be trying, you can still want to help people get there together with you. But as you do that, them they don't see. They think, and kuna spirit mbaya sana ya entitlement, ya siblings and children, even to their parents. That they think because babangu akona maploti, I don't have to work, mimi ndakuja kuinherit. Nitaziuza zote. Tafuteni yenu. You remember the story that is given about a man that was about to die, and he wrote in his will that when I die, please bring that house down. At the foundation huko chini, there is a box that has gold. I took it long time ago, and I buried there when I was setting the foundation. And then these guys, when they were read that, they were like, and once you get that, when you sell it, you will be able to build a magnificent home. So when wakachimba wakapata waka box, wakaambiwa kama nyinyi ni wanaume jengeni kama hiyo.
Na washaangusha.
And that was the end of it. And so there is that sense of entitlement that people feel, because I am better off up there, then I must help you. And that I've learned the hard way. That I have learned the hard way. When you're looking at a person and expecting, like, hey, this is my uncle, this is my friend, and I know he has money, he can sort out my problem. Problem yangu ni ndogo sana. Then you go to them, anakuangalia macho kavu, anakuambia bede sina. I have a lot of other things I'm doing, a lot of projects that need this money. But when now I've said, when you're denied something, then you sit back and now you can know, oh, kumbe, I need to do something about my life. Because when you keep on giving or receiving, you never even put your mind together to work for yourself. But when you're denied, I remember one time I was really going through a phase, and that was immediately after I now left work to go to Bible school. And because the pressure was just too much from God, that now it was time. And now I needed money. And now the people that I expected to give me money, they tell you like, hey chief, but they would have just sought. And I had such a hard time to go through that process. But today I thank God that they said no. I really thank God that they say no, because by them saying no, I went and sat and now started to figure out, because one of the things that I did not want to become is a poor pastor. I've not made it, I'm not rich, but if there's something that God has given me, because I was working, I was a salesperson, and I was doing very well. My last job was a general trade manager, and I was doing well. And so I said I would never, ever kuweka mikono hivi kwa mtu kanisani ni kibeg. I said I will never do that, and God help me that I will be a blessing to others, that I will work so hard. I will, because Paul was tent making as he preached the gospel, and he said that he has not become a burden to the church because he does his work to provide and support the ministry that he does. And so I believe in those scripture. I believe in that doctrine that I can naweza kuja nikuhubirie Yesu na kama hujakula bado nikupatie chakula. I believe in that. And by so doing, you work so hard. You look for every single opportunity that can help you at least create an extra shilling. So that, and also like, because one of the fears that I had was after I left work, I'm getting into, you see now your children are used to this kind of life. They're in good schools and then they're doing well. They can eat what they want. But now here we are, you've left work, now you're serving, your employer is God. And then wanalala njaa. Our party time ya kwenda out, uwezi wapeleka out. You're not doing all these things. Then what I will say, when dad was employed, was doing well. Kwani huu Mungu anatuambia tumpende, ana provide. Huu Mungu anahubiriga anasema anaweza. Kwa nini? And that alone was a wake-up call for me, because I want my kids to know, when I tell them that God is able to do, that they can see, yes, this God is able to do. And I'm not saying that there are people, that there are moments that we will have, we will not have, and I will tell them, hey guys, I do not have, but I know somewhere along the way we will, and when we do, I will give you that what you're asking. And this also teaches them that there are times that it's not that all that you want will be available, and that is life. Tomorrow you will want to do something, and even yourself, wakati utakuwa unafanya kazi hautaweza. And when they learn this in this stage, they will also understand, like sometimes that you'd have, other times that you do not have. And so I believe in doing, working, and serving God at the same time, making sure that you, kazi unajua kuna vile unaweza tu umekaa mpaka unaambia watu vitu wanakuangalia kidogo. I will give you a testimony of
as you connect.
Yes, as you connect. Because nikiwa class 4 tulipelekwa kwa mganga. Tulipelekwa kwa mganga. But when we got there, I looked at this, alikuwa mganga wa kike. Niliangalia kwao kwanza. Unajua picha ya shida. It was all over the place.
Akona shida.
Milango, nyumba zina milango. And then I'm asking Dad, now, are you telling us this person will help us when they have not even helped themselves? And that was just a very quiet boy, but I could see we are doing better than this woman. Anakuja kutuambia sijui anataka kutukinga sijui na what. A lot of nonsense. But you see now, it's about faith and belief. And so I could see this, because we are doing better than them. And so we need, as we tell people that God is able, I mean, they also need to look at you and say, God is able. And I'm not saying that Job alikuwa anamwamini Mungu sana, lakini Mungu anapeana ruhusa, anasema bwenda uguze mtumishi wangu, lakini roho yake ubakisha. And he loses everything until the wife tells him, like, tukana Mungu ufe, kwa sababu you've gone. The wife, I want to look at the wife. Sometimes we see the wife as a bad person, but from a person that loved you or loves you and is seeing you suffer, you've lost all your property, you've lost all your children, like you got nothing, your whole body is full of sores, and she looks at the pain that you're experiencing. This woman was just human, and she tells, and akasema tu yani mume wangu, this pain is too much. Tukana Mungu ufe. It was a mistake, of course, but humanly speaking, anyone would do that. Anyone would do that. And sometimes, you see, tunaona kama hizi ni stories za movie, stories za jaba zile tunasema, lakini these are realities of life. Spheres of life, like you've called it. And so we need to, like, wake up to the reality that we all like need to represent God well. I mean, like, sense of entitlement, like, no, I mean, it's out. Unakumbuka ile chali kwa msalaba naambia Yesu, wewe si tunasikia ni son wa God, si ujue kwa alafu to sort. And then mwingine akamwambia, we are here rightfully, but this man has not done anything. And he tells him, Jesus, when you get to paradise, remember me. And at that time, this guy anapata ticket express. And so we need to ask God to help us, like as we walk, as we serve, that will also be a reflection of this God that we represent. Because when people were looking at the ancient days, when they were looking at the disciples of Jesus, the wisdom that they showed as they approached on matters of Nini, as they preached Christ, and as they discussed, because when now they meet the Pharisees and now start discussing now the laws of Moses and all that, they would say, hey, and so they would relate and see, and they would say, these guys must have been with Jesus. And so that is where we need to be, so that people can say, who you? They can say this one is a born again Christian.
That's very great. Pastor, if you're just joining us now, this is EBN TV, the Spheres of Life, Scarred Footprint Part 2 of it. We have Pastor Jeremy KITIKU on board. He's our guest tonight, and we're discussing much of what we go through as a people. Wherever you are, don't assume, never think that you are alone. Never think you're too strong while alone to do or even to accomplish something of yourself. Make sure that you need to have a support system and you think shall be well. And there's a concern that I have, or even something that I have to mention, that if your angle has something, and angle here is quoted to mean divergent, to mean a lot of people, make sure that whatever belongs to them, not yours. And what belongs to you, it's rightfully yours. So if at all you have, because Pastor, I've come and thought of it, it's like when you have something and I need it from you and maybe you deny me, I feel that it's like you've denied me of a thing that really and rightfully belongs to me, and from there hatred comes in. And I'm coming through that direction because we were talking about you and your brother. Now this is just an example. I just want to mention any status, any situation, and how things are like now, because I know they are well, but I just want to use it as an example because now we're talking of your story. There is a way, Pastor, you said it's very risky to see you on top of a loan, because if at all it's a responsibility that you have to take care of, you have to take care of it all. But if you pull us to a place whereby it's like we are very close, we shall be helping one another and helping issues out if at all they erupt. But now there is an issue where I don't feel like I have to work. I don't feel I have to stretch. I feel I have to keep relaxing all through because Pastor Jeremy KITIKU is my brother, and he has to take care of everything that I'm going through. And as I deny, hatred comes in. How should we handle this, Pastor?
This is a reality that is happening in our day-to-day life. Of course, there are people that are just lazy. They want to just lazy around and expect things. Because my brother is a senior guy somewhere, he will just take care of things. Or because I know someone somewhere, he will just sort me out. And we have... do you know who I am? Stuff. And I was listening to Huru the other day. I think he was attending a burial somewhere. And he said some very deep words. That he was alikuwa anakunywa chai na uji na marafiki zake State House. And then when they left, wakashikwa na askari wa Alcoblow. Aliposhikwa na askari wa Alcoblow, his friend called him. Akampigia akimwambia sasa niko hapa hivi. Then President Uhuru was like, hello, I can't hear you. Then he hung up because akadalisikia nimeshikwa na askari wa Alcoblow. I mean, you see now when you're indulging, you also need to know that out there there is also the law. And so one of the biggest problems that we have today, and as I said, the only person that can think about your life 100% is yourself. So the moment I realized that you're only looking at me and you're not making any effort to work, to make a life for yourself, then I also cannot stop living my life to focus on yours or to focus on helping you. Because now that means ni kama ushaona mtu amekukanyagia slippers, mtasimama nyinyi wote. Because kama nimekukanyagia slippers, si mnatembea na nimekukanyagia yako. Unaona wale watu wanakukanyagia ndio usiendelee. mmesimama nyinyi wote wawili. And so I will not now stop my life now to start focusing on someone that does not even want to drive their life. And so I will ignore you, and I will ignore you by the way, na nitakwambia tu by the way, chief, is either you do it or you do it. If you're not doing it, I also have my life to take care of. I mean, like when my dad was alive, he would tell us like, hey, when you're able, then it's well and good, you can support me here and there, but I know you also have your families to take care of. And he was very, very, very key on that. But that did not make me not to support him, not to like come in na kutana na kasuti kazuri na mwambia yeye mzee, hii kasuti kakopoa, mom, I've seen this. I mean, I know akona mume wake, but I'm also a child in that home, and I also need to come in and support them. But now, of course, a lot of siblings, a lot of people will refuse to work hard, like in school, for example, because Bob, you know, your uncle and your CEO or a certain company, like when we were finishing Form 4, I remember a lot of guys would say like, mimi nikimaliza hivi next week niko job. Trust me, mpaka wale wako job.
Uncle wanaitishanga CVs.
Uncle ukistep out hivi, CV imeraruliwa hivi, imewekwa dustbin. Sio wote, wale wangu ni wazuri. But uncles, uncles ni wa kipekee. But this is just life. I think it's just as I said, you need to also work out your anything. And I always say, if you're able to help someone, please help them. Help them, because by so doing, you will shorten the process of now, like the same struggles that you went through. You not wale wengine wasipitia, but I mean, this does not mean then you do everything for them. And that's why they say like, usikuwa napatia mtu samaki, teach them how to fish. Show them how to fish. And showing them how to fish is now getting them that job. So akiharibu, unajua wanasema asiyejua kulipa mkopeshe. Na ukisha mkopesha, si nimesha kutafutia kazi. Ukienda ukiharibu, you can't come back to me and tell me now, oh, you see now, that story is closed. And so, when you want to hate me because I am not helping you when you're supposed to help yourself, because kila mtu ana jukumu lake na kila mtu ana destiny yake ambayo Mungu ameweka. I would do what I can do to help you, to assist you, like show you a thing or two if I'm able to, and then now from there you're on your own. But now when you go and fail, then now that is not my mistake. And then if sometimes also kama nimekuja kwako nataka unisaidie na mimi sitaki kukusaidia, then si right yako. Si right yako. Then so uanze kusema oh, huyu ni mlimwambia akakataa. Have you ever seen I do not want to, may his soul rest in peace, but I didn't want to mention names, a brother to the late Kibaki. Kibaki is here, is the president, but the brother here, the kind of life that he's living, kidogo kuna zingine nasema hapana. I mean, like your head of state, you can do better, you can do better. But you see now bado kuna wengine nao vile kichwa ngumu tu, hawasaidiki hata ukijaribu kufanya nini, they will go down with you. They will go down. As I said, unamjaribu kumsaidia, unasimamisha maisha yako kumsaidia, unaenda wote chini. And so no one is entitled to anything that I have or that you have. If I want to help, is willingly, but it's not like an obligation that I have over your life, because kila mtu ana nini. And trust to me, a person that knows, of course, my brother needs help and I can help. Trust to me, no one would stop without helping.
That's very true. And Pastor, I think there is something about when you were taken to a witch doctor for to make sure that they furnish your life and the challenge that you are going through. There is an issue where you given fees and then you're supposed to return it back to your parent and father, to be specific. And you tried to refute what the witch doctor was going to do to you as far as LP is concerned, because you're looking at the situation, it's worse. It's what we call dilapidated. And looking back, you're feeling it's better, you're better living than you're going to get help from the same person. It's like you're trying to contest, you try to dispute that. Were you misunderstood wakati uliombwa pesa ushape ukalipe karo na hapa mlipeleka kwa mganga? Were you misunderstood in one way or the other?
Yeah, shule sikuwa na say kwa sababu I was bado nilikuwa in fact mkubwa kuliko hii angani ya mganga. But ushaona ile mtoto tu anasema tu like because I was wise enough to not hapa ni kwa mganga tumekuja. But now what we were being told is that tunapewa kinga ndio tusirogwe. And so we were there, we were like, oh yeah, but now when you look at the person, unajua everything inakuwaga na ile relativeness, like unapata ile kitu najaribu kuniambia nikikuangalia naona unakaa hiyo kitu. And that is why a story is given of a man that went applying for a tender or a contract. It was a contractor. And so this time he went in very well on his V8, appeared, impression, created a very good impression. He got the papers. Saa hiyo my dad used to tell me, ukienda na gari utafunguliwa gate na askari. Ukienda na mguu huyo askari atakwambia piga simu ukiwa hapo hivyo nje. Ule mwenye anataka kukuja kukuona akuja akuchukue. I mean there is an impression part that you print or you paint on when you appear. So this guy appears for tendering on a V8, and then the day that they're supposed to return the tenders, he's running late, and so he parks the car somewhere, picks Nduthi, ndio afike in good time. Ule soja mwenye alimfungulia na akaenda kumwonyesha penye atapark vizuri na akaenda kumwonyesha ofisi yenye ataingia, alimfungia nje ya gate. And so kuna zile vitu unapata ukifanya zina nini kama sasa hii. I was just giving a view to my dad to just make him understand. I don't know, out of a child is very innocent. So when I'm saying this, I can already see, I already knew how our home looks like. We better that had built a very good home. And then hapa hivi tumekuja huyu mtu hata ni kama hata nyumba yake hata ina mlango. Mlango ni ile ya kuwekelea hivi. Sijui na inasimamisha inaziwa na pipa. Na huyu ndio mtu anakuja tusaidia. So I was just airing an opinion. And later on in now high school nikikuja kuambiwa leta hiyo pesa nini, and what I refused is to go to school when I do not have money. That I clearly refused, and I said I'm not going. And I remember later on because I thank God that died when he already knew Christ. He gave his life to Christ. Pombe akaacha. But nakumbuka time moja he drank and he wanted to beat my mom. Nikiwa form 3. That is now the time I told him like, hey, mzee, now you will have to kill me first before you can touch her. And I kuna ile pia mzee anaangalianga hiyo anapata niko na mwanaume kwa nyumba. Ile wake up call. And that was by the what was the end of trying even all that izo kuvutana na mom never happened again. And so we like right now kama sa the team that we have, the Gen Zs and the Alphas, hakuna unamwambia kitu na inabidi mzungumzane mkuwe na mzungumzo mwelewane. Si kama vile tulikuwa sisi tukikuwa you were being told, in fact reverse roles. Unaambiwa usioshe vyombo, nitakuja kuosha. I am sure zilikuwa zinapatikana kama zimeshaoshwa. Hizo ng'ombe usifungulie, nitakuja kupeleka malishoni usiku. But nowadays ukisema hiyo kitu hivyo ndivyo watafanya. Si mama ukienda uliniambia nisioshe utakuja kuosha. So I mean we are living in different times. And so that time there is what you could do, and of course there is something that we could not get to do. And Pastor, we have a lot of to cover, but because of time I think we have like 3 minutes then we finish. And there's something that I had promised our audience to come and do with you. It's about you transitioning or even leaving your work as a general trade manager to being a full-time pastor, and that's something I'll let them know when we shall be calling you back. Not this coming Sunday, but we shall plan very well so that you can first digest what we've given you from last Sunday to this Sunday. When you come back, I think we shall start the issue of support system and the issues of we're trying to understand yourself, then transitioning from or even coming from the professional work you used to do then to being
a professional, a full-time pastor. I'm reading very few comments here. Then from that we shall be having the final word from Pastor Jeremy. It's so interesting to have you in studio tonight.
Thank you,
and what you speak of is so profound. It's catching, it's teaching us something, and how we should relate, and how we should live, and how we should indeed get life as, and how we should proceed. And I'm starting with Diana Mwanya, Eastlands well represented. Good evening, our host JS and Pastor Jeremy. Good evening too. We've Simon or Peter Odek tuned in from Umoja. Dina again. JS, kindly tell us where you worship today. We missed you at RGC Blessed Rob Center. We know where Pastor Jeremy worshipped. Okay. Nilienda Deliverance Church International at the River. Cheryl Mageni following from Green Park, Mavoko, thank you. Dana again, God have mercy upon all national leaders. God is God of justice. Dana again. Pastor Jeremy, this is so profound. God has a lot of people. When God rejected Saul as a king, he had already prepared David with Esther King music. Following. Thank you.
Thank you.
Pastor Ruth Clay following, Elizabeth Kathike following, Elizabeth again. The topic is paramount. Dina again, very important to all parents. Treat your children equally. Dina again, tutakubaya sweet. What I've learned with our parents, no matter how little it is, they will always appreciate. We continue to pray for love and unity to abide in our families. David Joy following from Buruburu, present Rose following from Kasarani, George Kayesi. Interesting conversation. Then Juma Rosil. So good. Another comment that will be coming, I'll just be responding it through our social media platform, and I'll answer, I'll even respond to it there. And then because of time, and I've promised our pastor will be coming back several times, but here there's something that we've been keeping or not all along and postponing like every day, but we promise that when we come back we shall be talking more of Pastor Jeremy KITIKU. So interesting to have you, Pastor, as I've said. And now, because of time, I give you like 1 minute. Say hi to 2 people or 3. Then your very, 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 very key final word.
Okay.
Yes.
I will start with my lovely family,
Yeah.
my wife and children. Purity, that's her name, the name of my wife.
Yeah.
Victor, Levi, and Gia. Hello. Friends from where I fellowship today, AIC Skyway. That church is fire.
Yeah.
We thank God for you. May
Yeah.
God continue keeping you and using you. Pastor Dominic, there is a church elder there, Mark Matei, such a blessed man. And remember what we said. Remember what we said. Have you ever looked at a person and you can already tell that God has called this man, but So Mark, back to you. And to my friends that are watching, may God bless you. Last time I got some good feedback, good feedback from the show, and we continue praying that God will continue using you and to reach out to people. I mean, as we share these things, they say if you're out of a wilderness, someone else is coming in and someone else is exiting, and so kuna mwingine ako katikati kabisa. And so we keep on sharing on some of the things, not because we went through them, but most of them, of course, are things that we have gone through. And so thank you so much for having me, and we continue trusting God. And on top of it all, God is the answer to every single problem that you have. He knows, and nothing, I can tell you, nothing catches him by surprise. And as you go through that phase, one of the things that he promises is his presence, and that is what we were talking about today in IC Skyway, the presence of God. And we reminded of you remember the story of David and the Ark of Covenant, when God, it was in a bed or a dome, home, and things were just multiplying. And so God's presence is everything. And of course, with God's presence, we're not being assured that everything will be okay. But one thing that he assures us is that with him, in the many waters, he will be there. He will lift a standard for us. In the fires, he will be the fourth person. And he will be with us until the end of times. And so even in the challenge that you're going through, trust you me, God is with you, and he will make a way, and you will go out. And when you look back, you can indeed say that this farm, God has helped me.
That's great. This is EBN TV, The Spheres of Life, Scarred Footprint, part 2 of it, with Pastor Jeremy KITIKU. And my name is Jeffrey Kimayo Somba. When it comes to Spheres of Life, my name is Jeff the Legend, and this is a legend with a story, because we're here to help one another through the stories that we grew from and that we grew through. We wish you here from EBN a blessed month, November, as we transition to every issue that we are doing. We bless your day, we bless your week, and everything that you do, may God keep holding you all through. From here, EBN TV and The Spheres of Life, we wish you a good night. Until next Sunday, may God bless you.
Amen.